For most, Coyote Tango is nothing but a rusted relic, a Mark I model representing the most primitive and desperate days of the Kaiju War. However, behind that facade of obsolete engineering hides a technical capacity that directly challenges every law of the neural bridge we thought we knew. For years, the official narrative has sold us the idea that what happened in Tokyo, where Pentecost piloted Coyote alone to defeat a kaiju, was a miracle of human will, a pure act of heroism that only Raleigh could repeat years later, piloting Gipsy. It was believed impossible for a single brain to have the strength to operate a Jaeger in its entirety. But when analyzing the cold data of Coyote, the reality is different. We are looking at the keeper of a technical secret that time and international organizations tried to bury, an anomaly, a manipulation in its design that separates it from any other Jaeger ever built. And it is precisely here where the official story begins to crumble, because the key to understanding this enigma is not found in history books, but in the base files of Mirada Studios. When examining the initial sketches, production notes, and base arts of Coyote, details appear that, at first, I overlooked: connections to the future, additional processing modules, and a wiring layout that simply doesn't match the standard of a conventional Mark I. These files reveal that Coyote Tango's control architecture was designed under a radically different logic. And in this video, you will learn the true secret of what the lone wolf of Pacific Rim represents. That is my promise. So, without further delay, let's begin. What makes these Mirada Studios base arts so haunting isn't just what they show, but where they point. These sketches are not simple conceptual drawings. They are the map of a technical implementation that connects, almost surgically, with the events we would see years later on the big screen. It's strange to associate Coyote Tango with Gipsy Danger, but it is also a grave mistake not to notice that both Stacker and Raleigh were the only ones in the world who could pilot a Jaeger alone for a long time, and win without dying in the attempt. Were they special, or did they have special Jaegers? Well, those questions give us the key to understanding why this lone wolf was so important for the future of the Jaeger program. To understand the weight of what we are analyzing, we must go back to the desperation of the year 2015. The construction of the Mark I models was not just a military response, it was an unprecedented arms race where the machinery of the entire planet was concentrated on a single objective: creating the most advanced defense machines in history. But with the constant improvement and evolution of the kaijus, those in charge of defense realized that a Jaeger by itself was no guarantee of success. Therefore, the initial program was divided into specialized teams. Not all Jaegers were designed for hand-to-hand combat. Coyote Tango was born under a different premise. He was the spearhead of a new doctrine: ultra-precision long-range attack, a steel sniper designed to intercept and neutralize the kaiju threat before it could even touch the coast. At that moment, Coyote was not just a war machine. It was the physical representation of a military willing to sacrifice everything just to keep the enemy from setting a single foot on dry land. Finally, an analysis of the budgets reveals the whole truth. The budget for the Coyote Tango program was nearly double that of Tacit Ronin. This, of course, makes no sense. If both were prodigies of Japanese engineering from the same generation, where did that massive excess of money actually go? Where did those billions end up if there aren't in the armor or the cannons? Well, the real reason Coyote Tango was the most ambitious project of the Mark I program wasn't in its firepower, but in its name. USAF scientists, used to the logic of single-pilot fighter jets, could not accept the vulnerability of a system that depended on two people. For them, if one pilot fell, the mission had to continue. That's how the Coyote project was born, a direct reference to a predator that can hunt alone. This Jaeger was the key piece and a real secret effort for the future of the individual drift. Its technical architecture was designed for the hardware to take over the functions of the absent co-pilot, using the survivor's nervous system as a data bridge. It was no coincidence that Pentecost survived in Tokyo after piloting and fighting alone for so long. It was the result of an incomplete and experimental system, inspired by the world's most advanced fighter jets, where one man, under extreme neural pressure, could become the soul of the machine.
An interesting detail is that Gipsy Danger inherited amidst all its secrets that same genetic code from the coyote. This explains why Raleigh could pilot alone after his brother's death, and also reveals the truth behind the Mako Mori incident. When Mako got lost in her memories, Gipsy's system detected that she had enough neural load to sustain the entire system. Therefore, the primary pilot was disabled, and the neural system automatically activated the Lone Wolf protocol. The machine didn't lose control, it simply handed over total command to her because technically, Gipsy Danger inherited the systems and advancements made in the Coyote Tango neural technology. In the end, we must remember that everything we have analyzed today is a theory, but it is one of those theories where the pieces fit with a precision that is monstrous. It's very hard to ignore the weight of the evidence when you put it all on the table. Is it a coincidence that Coyote Tango's budget was double that of Tacit Ronin with no apparent physical justification? Is it a coincidence that the Air Force, an institution that bases its entire doctrine on single-pilot combat aircraft, was in charge of the project? Or that the name chosen was precisely Coyote, the eternal lone survivor? Even the Mako Mori incident in Gipsy Danger, despite not being necessarily related, both are Jaegers built under the same secret US program. Therefore, it stops being a script error and becomes a technical proof. The system detected a sufficient neural load and activated the protocol that Coyote Tango left as a heritage. There are too many dots connected in a single line to think they are simple accidents. For me, and based on the depth of the original Mirada Studios art, this was real. This was the true vision of what the Jaeger program could have been. But as always, the final word belongs to you. Do you think all of this is a series of coincidences, or are we looking at the best-kept secret of the Pacific Rim universe? Leave your conclusions in the comments because I really want to know what you think. And remember, if you want to keep receiving unique and interesting content, just hit subscribe. I'm Cyber, and this is CyberZone. I'll see you in the next video.